here, and we are live in Cranford. Now, the meeting starts at 8, but we're doing something a little different tonight. Well, we will be at the meeting, of course, but we're attending the workshop meeting, which is at 7. The regular meeting starts at 8, but we are here, and we are going to attend the workshop meeting. The workshop meeting takes place in a small room. Make sure I lock my door. And it's tiny, the room, so it should be interesting. It's going to be different. It's going to be different in that sense. The regular meeting is at 8, what we've been normally seeing in that beautiful council chambers, honestly. But we're doing a workshop meeting. We're at the meeting that they do right before the regular meeting. Small room, intimate. They don't film the meetings. Another meeting, some guy. We are going to Cranford again, where they banned the national anthem and then wound up rescinding the ban because they got backlash from the public. Now, all these people have to do is just act right. So what we're doing right now is we're attending the workshop meeting, which I have not done yet in Cranford. It's a very small room, very intimate. They do not film the workshop meetings. So we'll see if they even have a problem with me filming, because I think part of what they do in these workshop meetings is they discuss, methods and strategy as to how to stop us from, expressing ourselves freely, since it's a free country, free speech and free expression is supposed to exist in a free country. Cohen versus California, right? What if I go in there with a jacket that says, fuck the council? Fuck the council. I could do that. But so this is going to be different. They're going to be very upset. I'm going to tell you guys right now, about to go in. They're going to be very upset that they're going to see me at this workshop meeting. For the 4 people who are watching right now, please hit that like button and let's get to it. Should be interesting. They're talking about all these new rules to try to stop the cameras. They're trying to restrict where we can place the camera, how we can place the camera. They don't want us manning the camera. Now, if we're documenting this meeting, we need to be behind the equipment so we can be filming, so we can zoom up, so we can capture the meeting as it's taking place. Last meeting, Cranford decided they were going to take away the video, the public video access on the YouTube Cranford 35 channel that shows the speakers' faces. They've been saying all this stuff about self-promotion from out-of-towners who are just doing stuff for clicks and views. We're documenting the meeting. And they're treating us like pieces of garbage because we're not NJ12, NJ.com, all this stuff, Without this independent journalism, right? Without this independent documentation, we wouldn't have the story going national. It wouldn't get the exposure. If you guys remember, if you followed my channel for a while now, the only reason why the Edison stuff went national is because we had people with cameras. And that's what the news was able to use. The story went international, actually. People saw it in France, Germany, the UK, and it's because we had our cameras, because they stopped showing people at the lectern, at the podium, as they call it. They don't even know what a podium is. They're elevated on a podium. I had to teach them that. I had to explain that to them, because in their bylaws, when they said you can't leave the podium, right? Well, they're the ones on the podium. They're the ones elevated on a platform, which is what you call a podium. Look up the definition. What we have here, what we speak in front of, is a lectern. So had to, you're going to violate people's rights. At least do it with the right language. That's how little I expect from these people, that they don't even know how to violate our rights and use the proper terminology. But township lawyers, they're not the smartest. Actually, I don't want to say they're dumb, right? The thing is this, they know exactly what they're doing. They don't care about people's constitutional rights. They don't care about anything other than trying to silence the loud critics. That's what it is. Randall, what's up, brother? We are in Cranford. We're going to be back at it. 8 o'clock is the meeting, but we're going to the workshop meeting starting in 1 minute. From what I understand, from what people have told me, these are the workshop meetings where they speak about the strategy of how they're going to stop us, how they're going to restrict us, restrict our movement, limit our ability to film these meetings. They're trying to stop it. They're trying to shut it down. So apparently these little rooms is where they talk about all this stuff. Rami, woo! Rami, my boy. Blue Line Transparency, that's my boy too. So this is going to be different. Like I said, the meeting starts at 8 o'clock, but we are here for the workshop meeting. They don't film the workshop meeting. They don't film the workshop meeting, but it's going to be filmed now. So that's the importance of being able to document this stuff. That's how they're trying to, restrict these videos from going viral. They never thought about maybe their behavior, maybe changing their behavior. They never thought about that, right? If you have cancer, right, you're going to want to cut the cancer out. You're not just going to want to treat the symptoms, right? We are the symptoms to what they are doing, right? We're the loud critics speaking out against what they're trying to do to stop the movement of Will Philly, stop his expression. That's how all this started. Then they start targeting other people, and now nobody has the ability to be able to have their face seen on Cranford TV 35. So it's a huge problem. And I see Leroy just got here. All right, Leroy Truth is in the house again tonight. Leroy has made a phenomenal appearance in Cranford here with the Star Spangled Banner, originally attempting to play it. And what did they wind up doing? They shut it down. They had police approach him at the lectern. Louise, not Thelma, what up? And they wouldn't allow him to do it. They had cops approach him, threaten him with removal. And that's how this whole thing started with the national anthem ban. But tonight's going to be very interesting because, like I said, and I'm repeating myself a little bit because I see a couple people were jumping on, and I just want to explain exactly what's going on. The meeting's at 8 o'clock, regular meeting, going to be filming. But we're at the workshop meeting right now, which starts at 7:01 right now. It's in a small room. We're going to be in a small room with all of them. And this is apparently where they discuss methods and strategies at how to stop us. I've also Oprah requested public record requests here in New Jersey. We call it OPRA, Open Public Meeting Act, Open Public Records Act. What up? No, I'm just doing a little intro for my video. Better not be locked out. Yeah, that's the other thing. They don't open the, I don't know. Apparently from what I'm hearing from people is they're going to say that we can't film unless we're inside with the camera set up and we have to be in a certain area, like all this nonsense. Such a great idea to join this meeting. Exactly. They're going to be so pissed to see us. They're going to be so pissed to see us. All right. So I kind of want to wait for Leroy to get in here so we can kind of go in together. Yeah, let me just wait a couple minutes. I think the meeting is just starting. And they have it in a very tiny room. It's a little tiny room. And the cameras are not normally filming these. Well, I shouldn't say not normally. They're never filming these little workshop meetings unless somebody comes in with a camera and decides that they're going to film it. So this should be very different, very intimate little meeting here, workshop meeting, where they discuss strategies, methods, what they're going to do, how they're going to stop us. They want to stop themselves from going viral. All this started because they tried to stop Will Philly from going viral, which he did back in November when he was running as an independent candidate. And what actually has resulted is they have now gone viral. They, for their actions, for their behavior, have now gone viral. So they didn't want Will to go viral. And they stopped his movement. They restricted what he could do, and now they've been going viral. So that's what we got. Leroy Truth in the house here, and the meeting is just about starting, I believe. So let's get in there.
Oh, beautiful, oh, spacious sky, forever waves and breeze.
Leroy Truth has had an amazing presence here in Cranford, man. Absolutely amazing.
It's a beautiful day at the
Call me Ford, oh, call me Ford. There's that little room. So they're in that little room. We're going to go in there in just a second. It's right there. Yeah, it's the workshop meeting room. I'm excited. They don't want us here. They don't want us here, so I'm excited.
We're free. They think we're not free.
Exactly.
We're free.
This is America. They keep thinking this is Cranford. This is America. Cranford is in America. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. I'll get my microphone set up so I can put it like right on the table. Make sure we hear everything.
I love that top. That's one of my favorites. The colors are
Yeah.
awesome.
I got my red shoes on. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Pop. Not a crazy shoe selection. Not necessarily a shoe guy.
So my trespass group here, so you see it in the light here.
Get Leroy's press pass.
I got my new press pass issued from the Constitutional Freedom Press Pass Association.
Oh my God, it's like the size of an atlas. It's like the size of a giant atlas.
You see this from the space shuttle.
Here's my press pass.
Cool. You have a thing for it?
I also have my mini press pass.
That is classic. I gotta go with those too.
He's so small.
Do you have an lamination piece to put in?
I don't. I'm gonna tape it to this stuff. So at least it makes not that the press pass is official because there's no such thing, but this will make my stand official.
Any miracle you can join us for the insane protest that the police are doing against First Amendment orders.
Tomorrow when I go into work, I'm going to see if there's a possibility that I can maybe take it off out there.
We got activism. We got reporters people coming. We got Sean's going to restream mine on his channel.
Yeah.
My live. We've got also Sean Randall Thomas, one of the OGs.
Awesome.
The accountability is coming up. It's going to be.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to make. I have to kind of see what's on the schedule for work-wise, and might be able to put some stuff off to Friday. So I'll find that out tomorrow.
Appointment in there. I'll send you back. So we're all set with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. One in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat. So I can go in there and make sure we have a recording microphone here. Thank you. Yes, sir.
But resolution requires acknowledgement that the township holds title without compensation. Damages continue to grant as you see. Taking the statement as written, there is no statute of limitations. And I have no just compensation for any compensation. If this matter is not addressed, I will have obviously pursued the available remedies in federal court. Now, because of the Supreme Court ruling in the state of New Jersey in the Roberto II, it also can be taken up in the state court. You cannot take property in the United States of America without paying for it. Discussing it behind closed doors does not change.
I just have a question, Mr. Argent.
Yes,
My name's Patty, I'm a township clerk.
no T, Argent, Argentina, but without the T.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you, at the beginning, you said this was a matter of a constitutional amendment under the Fifth Amendment?
Fifth and 14th.
Fifth and 14th. Okay, thank you. And ARGEN.
All, yes.
Okay, members of the public, if anyone speaks, if you could just please sign in. The sign-in sheets very much helps me with my minutes. Thank you. Any other members of
I'm Don Sweeney. I know most of you guys, and it's almost Memorial Day, so I should know why I'm here. 12 years ago, I joined the Memorial Day Parade Committee, and that year, the idea of the Cranford 86 was born, and we're happy to say that in 12 years, we now have found pictures of 80 of our 86 men, which we had just a handful when we started, and we've completed a biography of 50 So we've come a long way. I never come to the meeting before the ceremony, and you guys are always part of it. And so we sort of thrust this thing upon you, and not knowing where we got these people coming from all over the country that are Gold Star families. And the last segment of the ceremony, which has come to be the Cranford 86 segment, has gotten to be quite an emotional thing where kids that didn't know their fathers that lived in town, and all of a sudden we found them. They're retired teachers and all that. So we have some of that going on this year. So I wanted to give you some heads up because I always thought that there's time in the beginning of the parade where you guys could sort of socialize with those out of town guests, and you don't even know who they are until the ceremony's over. Then it's like mad bedlam. So I just thought we're going to give you a little bit of a handout so you know. We have Joe Whalen, who was one of the guys. The second story that when I was just by myself writing, I took his obituary from the historical society, and I wrote a story. It was 1.5 pages long. Lately, our stories are 6 and 7 pages long. But Janet, my Gold Star family representative, Janet National, found the wife and the daughter of Joe Whalen living in South Carolina, and she extended her vacation in South Carolina to sit down with them and met them, and they are coming on Memorial Day. So, and she, in our story, 12 years ago, we wrote that she married a state senator's son, and that state senator's son became a general in the army, and he's major general. So he is coming along in his full general outfit. So I don't think we've ever had a visiting general to our situation before. So pretty exciting. Plus his oldest son, who's named Joe Whalen, which is pretty exciting. He's a graduate of Citadel University. It's just an exciting story. So along with the other children of
Oh, no, Joe Whalen's, the Whalen side of the family.
yeah, so there's 3
He had
children.
sisters.
Right? So he died when he was 27, Green Beret, working in secret outfit behind enemy lines, leading a pack of South Vietnamese soldiers to overtake a mountain, and was killed in the pursuit of the mountain. His volunteer group of South Vietnamese took the hill and won the battle like one of these 100 to 1 situations where just very exciting story. So anyway, we have that, and then also we have Bruce Nostrum story, which he was a bomber jet pilot, and we have his family come on. I'll let Janet share with that. She has more of the details. But that's the one thing I wanted to just give you guys a heads up that maybe you could, do the hi, I'm Mayor Prunty and welcome to Cranford type of thing. Before we never had that. What we do is every Gold Star family has a button on with a picture of their loved one, which is sort of, so even the people that we honored in the past, I think last year we had almost 60 showed up. So this year I'm sure it'll even be larger. So it's a beautiful thing. And now with 80 banners that we have out of 87, we only have 46 of them up around town because we've not been approved with places to put them. So I'd love to sit down and find out where else we could put them. Terry and I have spoken to we're in the Memorial Park Design Committee. We've talked about it. Maybe on Lexington, we're in Indian Village. There's all kinds of Victorian poles around the Walgreens on South Avenue. So that might be an appropriate place. We look for places where the traffic goes slow, where people can read them, or maybe foot traffic, because all the banners now have QR codes that people can scan them and get the whole story on their phone. So we don't want them on like Springfield Avenue where people go flying by. We want to find places that are appropriate. So that maybe we can talk about in the future. The JC's work, they help us buy all those new banners. They're all up now around town. You see them, they're high definition. They won't be remastered, and they're just beautiful. So I thought that I would present a little bit of presentation about the parade and about the ceremony on TV 35 later, because lots of people watch this, and even from around town. So maybe some people didn't realize what we've got going on here in Cranford and how wonderful our ceremony is. So fair thing that I'll do. So I thought I would come here and just sort of give you a heads up.
Thank you.
And I'll let Janet Ashton see.
I'm Janet Symbolic Ashnault, and as Don said, I'm a co-writer with him on the Cranford 86 team, as well as in the Memorial Day committee. Memorial Park Redesign Committee and the Memorial events are all dear to my heart because of Raymond National. So I have something very nice to share with you. And I'll speak more of at greater length in the next meeting, but it's about a gift that's been offered to Cranford, and it's in honor of a Cranford resident who had an idea that changed the course of World War II history in a big way. And I'm speaking of Curtis Cullen and his hedgerow cutter device. And in World War II, construction and installation of these devices on American tanks enabled the U.S. to pave the way through the European countryside and advance on Germany. And this gift is a historically correct replica of the Cullen hedgerow cutter, and we're seeking support from township officials and residents that this museum quality piece will be displayed prominently in Cranford. And I will explain in the next meeting how we came upon getting this gift and a little bit more about Curtis Cullen. So that's a great thing that's happening. And I just wanted to embellish a little bit about what Don said about the family members coming to Cranford. This is something that when, I don't know if Don had thought of it, but when I started working with the Cranford 86, I never imagined, it wasn't even on the radar, the relationship that we would have with these families. We seek them out when we're doing our research. Some of them know a lot about their ancestor, some of them know nothing, and we're totally introducing them to what their loved one went through in these wars. And just the fact that this town remembers them means so much to these people. That they come from, we had 18 people from Virginia came last year. They all marched in the parade. They said they were on cloud nine after it. They loved it. So this year, as well as Joe Whalen's family, we have the Nostrand family. Remember, there used to be Nostrand Electric in town. And that is that family. And he was this pilot in World War II. And they are very enthusiastic. They helped us to write the story. They came last year to see what it was all about, and then they came back. So they've been really wonderful to work with. And it's possible we have a relative of a World War I soldier that lives in Garwood. They don't know they're a relative yet, but I will prove it. So hopefully they will attend. But I just want to talk about the first time this whole family thing hit me was when we did the story of a World War II infantryman. And his one son lives in Cranford, the other lives in Califon. And one boy was an infant when his father died, and Kenneth, who lives in Cranford, Nager, was not yet born. So neither one of these men knew their father in World War II. And they attended in 2023. The older one, 80-year-old Richard, wore his father's cap from World War II. And he described it as the most exhilarating day of his life. And we were able to tell him about his father's service in World War II. But it was the day after I got a phone call from him. And apparently, this is 80-year-old Richard. He went through everyone in our group and called us all. I cannot remember what the man said other than he was grateful, but I got off the phone sobbing. He just was so touched, and the things he said to me. So I said, this is really important what we're doing, and really important. So I wanted township officials to know about this relationship with this family.
Thank you so much. And Gina and Don, you'll sign in for this,
Yes.
please. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Kevin Harrison, 20 Burnside Avenue. Just a couple of questions. I saw coming out of the last meeting that the plan was to adopt the capital budget at the May 5th meeting. Is that still on target? And then just making sure again that our flood study for the Burnside area. And then I noticed on the agenda, and I wasn't sure if this was part of the closed session or not, that there's report from the Army Corps of Engineers about that particular.
It does not. We'll get to that. It's figuring out what they're,
Got it. Thank you.
other comments.
More of a question, comment. I was interested, Commissioner Kern, maybe update pool Orange Avenue, how we're doing so far, where we are, improvements, and how do we stand today?
Stealing my comment.
Oh. I didn't see
Are
it.
you
Okay, I won't tell him.
But I was actually over there today. A lot's going on. So the painting is going on outside and inside. The electrical work is happening. DPW is working on a couple of new paths throughout the facility. A lot of the furniture is being cleaned and ready for the summer. The pool is ready to be filled. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon, but it's been repaired on the low end of the pool. Other things that will be happening is the courts will be refinished. Eventually, some of the fencing is going to be redone. So a lot's going on. Oh, there was also the turf was aerated and overseeded. A lot going on. In terms of registrations, so I'm comparing year over year. Compared to last year, we're definitely down. But if you look back to 2025, we're right on par. I'm sorry, 2024. So 2024 to 2026, we're down about 30 memberships different. And the number of members is about 40 different, so a little bit lower. But the money is only $4,000 different.
Typically May is.
Yeah.
Starts to get more, hopefully.
You need some more.
Hopefully.
Last year, we had a sort of a front loading of the memberships because of a lot of the media attention from last year. There's a lot of controversy with the polls. But really, we look like we're right on par.
Make a Twilight story out
Okay.
Any other public comment?
All right. My name is Mike. Normally, obviously, I remain anonymous, and that's for the public demonstration. Just to remind people that we have rights. It always does seem to bother everyone, or a lot of people, when you exercise your rights. But my name is Mike. We're in a little closed room here, so I'll share that with you all. I'm also very public with the Facebook account, my YouTube, and go all over the state, and I document meetings with the purpose of striving for government accountability and transparency. A lot of, over the years, a lot of, people in power positions of authority and power, kind of not had the best experience, whether it be principals, teachers, police, priests, doctors, just a long history of people in positions of authority and power kind of, not falling short of, what a reasonable person would expect from someone in these positions. I thought maybe I would come to this meeting in this environment a little bit more intimate, so for it to be a little bit more personable, kind of, explain, why I'm here and whatnot. I wanted to make sure that all the residents had spoke first. As a courtesy, when I come to these meetings, I let the residents speak first. This is their meeting. It's also why I thank residents for, allowing me to speak at their meeting. I think it's important to remember that, these meetings belong to the public. And, the reason mostly why I started to come here, why I'm here, and what it's all about is, obviously, I can't see what's happening in any other framework other than, with the stuff that was happening with Will Philly and dancing and singing, however silly it may be, the belief and understanding that I have and that I've had lawyers explain to me is that you can't disrupt a meeting during your own speaking time. Maybe what Will doesn't meet the standard of what other people think should take place at a meeting. And that's fine. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. Everybody has a right to feel what they feel. And that's kind of one of the best things that's parts about this country, you know? I can't look at it in any other framework other than he's your political opponent running for committee. And, you know, and I know I've made statements about this at the last meeting about, you know, the committee using their legislative powers to restrict his movement, you know, restrict his expression. It may be untraditional. It may not be what most people are used to. I do believe, I guess it was done in an effort to kind of, you know, stop him from going viral, you know, and I get it. People like to say, you know, it's all about clicks, it's all about views. I've been coming to meetings regularly since 2017. Council meetings are the rooms where I discovered my voice throughout a journey, finding my way speaking at meetings, kind of served as a place of where I was able to take my power back as an adult and kind of confront unchecked power. And I'll give you one example, the most recent example. You remember the gentleman who was here in the wheelchair who wore the wrestling mask, El Rampador. He does the wheelchair accessibility and, you know, ADA, you know, work and everything like that. We had went to Plainfield. I know I touched on this at one of the meetings, but we had went to Plainfield. I was going to Plainfield, you know, I'm from North Plainfield, so you all know that's where I live. Plainfield is a neighboring town. I'm actually running as an independent candidate in North Plainfield. And the second that I announced that on the township page, you know, they shut off comment and, you know, just letting residents know there may be another option, you know, with the odds already stacked against you as an independent candidate, let me lose with dignity, you know, but no, they shut off commenting because they don't want people, they want to control information that's coming in, information that's coming out. So, you know, with a township page like that, that had commented and turned on for years and years and years, the second I make that announcement, they shut it off. You know, just give an example of like, you know, what we deal with as people who are vocal and try to, yeah, maybe just 30 seconds. Just want to give the example that I was talking about. So Plainfield said we can't sing, we can't dance. I went there, I sang, I danced, I just be a little silly, whatever. I could be the silly one, right? Don't respond, don't react. I walk away the silly one. React in a certain way. Now we have a conflict. Points I tried to make before. That man, El Rampador, in that wheelchair mask, sang a song about how he couldn't get through the front door to the building at the council meeting, which is also the courthouse in Plainfield. For decades and decades and decades, residents were asking for accessibility, and nothing ever came about it. He sang a song about not being able to get in through the front door, and just recently Tappan and Plainfield credited that appearance and using that untraditional tactic of protest song to try to achieve something for the betterment of everyone. Happy to announce that Plainfield now has an ADA ramp, an accessibility ramp to the building. And I think it's the most silliest of all that it had to take somebody to come in there in a performative way and to sing a protest song to get something done that should have been done. So what I'll finish with, I don't know how, I guess my time is good enough. What I will finish with is maybe singing, maybe dancing is untraditional. I understand that. But there's many examples of it actually having results because people don't want to be on video and see singing or dancing, right? But that's maybe why they decided to actually put the ADA ramp. So I would just ask, with all the stuff that's going on with the recording and now taking away cameras from the camera, showing the people, let's,
You're way over 5 now.
I
Thank you.
don't even see a
Okay.
clock, and I kind of thought other people were speaking.
Actually,
This is why I came here, so I could communicate.
and you did, you did.
But is there even a clock right now that is
I
taking?
mean, I do it every time someone comes up.
Yeah, so I'm over
Any
5
other-
minutes. I'm over 5 minutes.
Less formal
I'm over
now.
5.
Yeah, so in this
Yeah.
room, we do typically
Yeah.
allow for a little more back and forth, so there's some leeway on the time to try
Yeah,
to.
it seems cool, like the way you got
Right,
it.
this is, and that's what this is meant for.
Yeah.
So if I could, so the first thing, you know, you wore your fire shirt last time. I'm
Yeah.
a fire donor. I'll be at the gala in November.
Right on.
I do everything I can in my role as the township attorney to make sure We're compliant with the First Amendment and the rest of the Constitution, New Jersey Constitution as well. That's my number one goal. So I take that very, very seriously. And when it comes to Mr. Billy, we don't have an issue with singing. You'll notice when we change the bylaws, we didn't put anything in there about staying silent, singing, none of that.
You guys
Because
did.
I know that
I know.
stuff. I
You
know
guys
that
did.
stuff. I'm not going to fall for those things, right? I'm
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
and
Good.
we don't want to. If he wants to sing, that's great. The only time we've ever had a problem with Will is when he's moving his speech into the crowd in ways that are unwanted for some of the people in the crowd. Karate demonstrations, tons of props that end up in people's seats. One time he swung the flag around and nearly hit a gentleman. That's the only thing we really want to curtail. We want him to just, and everyone else, to stay up at that microphone, have your 5 minutes, say anything you please, and then, that's your time and it's all for you. That's our goal. That's where we want to live.
I do appreciate that answer, and I'll just end with, I think we really need to return the cameras to the speakers, because I just want to not come here anymore.
Yeah.
But you got to fix these things. Thank you.
As Mr. Slattery said, no one has ever been prevented from speaking or singing or whistling or standing and saying nothing. Only the incidents and the ultra loudspeakers that.
Thank you for the clarification.
Any other public?
Hi, I'm also not a resident, so it's probably the rest of the class, although I was born in Cranford, married an Italian that dragged me out to Long Island, so I haven't been able to find my way back. But I'm here tonight.
Can you just provide your name for the?
Yes, my name is Yanni Mamaro. I'm working with the owners of the property at 24 South Avenue West. The resolution that was brought on. Interested to hear how that came about. I actually had the pleasure of talking to Mr. Slattery earlier today to get an understanding of what the purpose of that was, and working with the actual new owners. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the history of that property. I won't go into detail about it, but it's obviously a mess. I've been personally involved with them, advising them for the past 4 years, and I think we're at a point now where we're looking for, hopefully with the town, to find some type of common proposal or solution to make a proposal on that property to redevelop it. Obviously, nice sort of property that is a perfect candidate to be redeveloped. It also has significant issues in regards to environmental conditions that we don't know, because nobody's had the ability to go in there and actually test the property, which is what we're hoping to do next. I'm here tonight really to
Oh, you are good.
Nothing else is said.
That's good.
No answer out of that memo yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I needed a mic.
Yeah, so I'm gonna discuss the resolution and next steps a little later in closed session. Folks, we had a discussion of how we got to where we are, and whenever there's a new development, be sure to have communications. No, when it comes to this sort of thing, the more folks are talking with one another, so there's an understanding, no miscommunications, the better. So I'm glad you reached out today. Appreciate it.
Any other public?
I got your truck.
All right, so that was interesting. That's the first time I dealt with a workshop meeting, and I think we got Will Philly.
One of the spots on the town. When's that gonna be? Right, are you not doing any, are you just gonna sing?
No, I'm gonna speak.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Doesn't say nothing.
To give you an example of that, recently we left these songs in Cranford, ran a foot in the area. For wheelchair accessibility, because the building's not accessible. So I just gave that example. Some of these things. The jobs have to be censorship. That's the latest example. Untraditional public comment, and then singing the song, but you No. And they said, about singing that. They said what they said about was when and waved a flag and almost touched the person. And all, you know, but they were saying the problem was other people's space.
Unfortunately, why? That's because that's what the person on the wall.
Right. I know. I was gonna hang out.
Yeah, watch them.
Are you going in? Yeah.
I'll take a peek and see.
Yeah, yeah.
Appropriate on you.
Yeah, they mean it.
Just make comments. What is what open? Definitely not. Definitely not. So I'm just gonna go outside. Talk to you guys in a second. Oh, how are you? Huh? I'm doing a live right now. No, that's not. I just did a public comment in the workshop. I wish they would open that a little earlier. Yeah. So that was the workshop meeting. You guys can hear me all right, right? You guys can hear me all right? I don't know. Sometimes with these Bluetooth microphones, I don't know. I'll set one up, and then if I pull it to the phone, sounds good. Thank you, Rami. So yeah, you heard that bullshit. They're upset about the beach ball, which Will was protesting the closing of a pool, and he showed up in like his swim shorts. This is before I ever came to Cranford. Will was doing some funny stuff. I took notice of it. That's a good way to get people to pay attention to what's going on in local government and stuff. The Cranford video on the TV 35 from last meeting was 530 something people wind up viewing it. 530, my video, the last video on YouTube, kicked ass. It's over 200,000 views. So that's the importance of bringing these cameras to the meetings and stuff. People want to watch the recordings of us documenting it. Certainly much more than the public access video. So yeah, they I don't know. You guys heard them. They just don't like Will. He's their political opponent, so they want to target him. They want to restrict his movements. But now all the residents are telling me that they basically are going to give a problem tonight about the cameras again, like they tried to do that last time. They're going to want to make a designated area of where people can film from, this and that. And if they want to do that, if they want to have a reasonable restriction under Torres v. Pine Hill, they have to vote for it. They can't just decide one day that they're going to come out like last meeting. They can't just decide that all of a sudden they're going to say you can't use your camera, you can't stand here, you have to sit down. I stand when I'm at a meeting, because I'm manning the camera. I'm zooming up, I'm zooming back, I'm taking shots. I wasn't always filming when I go to these meetings, but now that I have the YouTube channel and I've been enjoying making videos, I'm thinking about shots that I want to get during the meeting. So you have to be manning the camera. And they just don't want, just don't want these videos to go viral. Originally, the whole thing was to stop Will from going viral, but now Cranford's going viral for their own behavior. So, for their own actions. So you can call it what you want. Let's look at some comments here. Hit that like button, y'all. What's up, Steve? It's all smoke and mirrors. They don't want the public to see they don't want the public to see past that. Thank you, Rami, for sharing the national anthem group walkout, insane New Jersey town video. That was the regular meeting. That was the workshop meeting, Steve, that I was just at. I've never been to the workshop meeting. Very small, So I told them my name. I told them where I live, as a courtesy, because they all know anyway. I have a Facebook page and I'm sharing this shit all over the world, But I wanted to tell them that, as a courtesy, because when I do it at these meetings, it's a demonstration to remind people that we have rights. And even though people get bothered by that, it's part of why I do it. No one should care what other people do. Like sometimes when other people do things that you don't like, you should just move on with your thoughts, move on with your day and start, like think about something else. Yes, the regular meeting is after. The regular meeting is starting at 8 o'clock. And what time is it now? 7:40. All right. So I'll tell you that meeting's about to end. I'm just going to smoke a cigarette real quick. And then we're going to get back in there. They open the doors at 7:50 now. That's their new rule. They don't want to have the doors open until the very last minute. It's another new rule. It's just new rule, new rule, new rule, new rule. Thank you, everybody, for a free man and an American can shed a spotlight on corruption. 100%. 100%. That's Steve Ronco from In This Day and Age. If you all remember when I was arrested in Lavalette, I was with Steve. In This Day and Age, that's Steve. So, yeah, this meeting starts at 8 o'clock, and we're going to check it out. See how many people show up. See how many mayor and committee plants show up. I can guarantee you, though, with that little bit that I saw from in there, those people were speaking over 5 minutes. There's not a doubt in my mind. I mean, I'm not holding the clock. I'm not checking it out. But it did seem like once I was at like 3.5 minutes, maybe it was 5, I don't know. But it did seem like, shut it down. All right, your time's up, get it out, Like, what the fuck? It's like even trying to be courtesy, trying to give them courtesy and trying to be nice. It's like still doesn't work or whatever. But you know what? They're going to get theirs tonight. The mayor desperately wants to be in charge of everyone and everything. 100%. If you start looking at these goddamn council meetings like you're in Miss Prunty's kindergarten class, when you are in that room and you start looking at it like you're in a kindergarten class and Miss Prunty is the teacher, everything starts making a little bit more sense because they treat the public like we're children, like we're kids. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't say this, don't say that. You can't speak to the audience. Says who? What law says I can't turn around and address the community? At this point, I've already come to the realization that the only people who possibly are listening are the community, the people's in the audience. They're not answering any of my questions. They don't intend to. I asked them last time, who decided to stop showing Will at the podium and they stopped showing Leroy when he played the national anthem for the second time? They decided to only not show those two speakers. Then they realized that that's viewpoint discrimination. So now the new thing is nobody's getting shown. Which is exactly what Edison wound up doing. With Edison, they didn't even show the person. They just showed the council. You couldn't even see the speaker. But now they're using that camera in the back, that with that one angle, just showing the person at the podium. And then when the mayor and the committee speaks, they get the FaceTime, they get the self-promotion. All of this villainizing, self-promoting, out-of-towners, only they're allowed to self-promote, guys. They're the only ones that are allowed any FaceTime anymore, And just so happens that when Will Philly announced his candidacy, what do these people wind up doing? They don't let him show his face. So it's another example of using legislative powers to, suppress their political opponent from, having a fair chance, and when you're fighting the establishment, like Will last year, it was an independent candidate. He did get 1,776 votes. I want you all to remember that. Will got 1,776 votes last year. Not only is that like a good handful of people, but 1,776. 1,700, as we talk about all these free speech issues and stuff, that's just one of those universal alignment things. Like, of course, it was 1,776. As we deal with these free speech issues, Mayor, a meeting or two ago, tried to say that she never banned the national anthem. Fuck out of here. You never banned the national anthem. Everybody saw the video. People aren't stupid, and the video before the last one that had 115,000 views, Had like over 2,000 comments. That's the one where she said, oh, people were writing emails, making phone calls, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Well, this video is over 200,000. So I can only imagine the emails and the phone calls that they got, you know? They got to stop violating people's rights. That's all it is. And then I move on to the next town. That's all. All right. So, see, I got 58%. Yeah, I can leave this running. I was considering maybe doing two videos, you know, one of the workshop meeting and one of the regular meeting, but it's almost 8 o'clock. I think we'll just leave this one running. I see. All right, I got more likes than we have people in the chat, so it's possible all of you have hit the like button, and if so, I appreciate that. If you have not hit that like button, please hit that like button. I love asking you guys and then seeing it jump up one. You know, we're at 15. If somebody hasn't hit it yet, hit that like button. Let me get 16, you know? My lives don't get an incredible amount of views, you know, sometimes maybe like 1,000 tops. But some of these other videos are getting good views. A lot of people are paying attention to Cranford. I will say this. The one person on that council who I feel like might not be insanely horrible is Gina Black, the commissioner who put her hand over her heart during the national anthem. You know, I get it. They don't want to stand because they're too good. You know, they're better than the people. I mean, actually, I don't get it. I fucking don't get it because if I was up there, I would just easily stand. It's so simple, you know, but they didn't want to stand. But at least Gina Black put her hand over her heart. Out of the almost 2,000 comments on that video, there was probably about 10 to 15 who said, you know, at least Gina did that. Nobody said nothing bad about Gina because she did that, you know. They don't understand. They don't seem to not understand optics, you know. Sit. Yeah, so that's another thing. When we come to these meetings, there's a lot of people that drive by and they're shouting and they're cheering because there's a lot of popularity with these meetings. Last time when I was coming out of the building with Leroy, people were screaming. They're like, Philly, Philly. One guy was hanging out of the window with his arms up going, well, we love you. And I'm like, that's what they don't want. They don't want an elected official where people love, where they love and they say, yo, Mr. Thing. They don't want that. That's what they're scared of. They're scared of Will because he's relatable. He's relatable. They're not. They're not relatable one bit. No, oh, someone hit that like button. Thank you. I appreciate that. It just went up to 16, I see. All right, so let's make our way back in there. Let's make our way back in there. Now I'm going to try to, yes, got another like. I appreciate that, guys. I'm going to try to pull a double header tonight. You know, as all of you guys, well, the guys, the men and the women, the ladies and the gents who've been watching my channel. You know, I spent a lot of time in Summit. I haven't been there in a while because Summit falls on the same night as Cranford, unfortunately. But there was a couple times where I was able to pull a double header. Summit's only 20 minutes from here. So I'm like, dude, if I could kill two birds in one stone, go to two meetings, speak at two different times, I'm going to do it. I like it. I was able to do that. I think three, at least two times. I think three. But I'm going to try to pull a double header again tonight. So we'll see what time public comments ends. This meeting starts at 8, and Summit started at 7:30. But those meetings in Summit are long. But the public comments are at the end. Excuse me. So we may be able to pull off a double header. So I'll let you guys know by the end of this live stream whether or not we're heading over to Cranford, and we'll do another live. And I want to go there and shut down their policy of residents speaking first. I let residents speak first anyway. That's a courtesy that I do. But if you want to make up a rule, if you want to make up a policy that's unenforceable about residents or non-residents speaking last, well, it's time to shut that down. So that's what I want to do. I want to go to Summit and shut that down and just show my face back in that meeting again. Downtown Cranford, baby. Downtown Cranford. Downtown Cranford. Alrighty. Wish they would open these council chambers doors. Oh, the doors are open. Finally. Yes. Beautiful. Must be 7:50. It is. That's why. They just opened it. All right. So let me go grab my other stuff. Council chambers are open. I might get a video of me dancing for some B-roll in the council chambers. That in a second. Do that just 1 second. Yeah, they just opened the doors. Yeah, so we can set up shop in there if you'd like. Let's get in there. Let's get in there and find a spot. All right, let's see what they do tonight. Let's see what they do tonight.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. All right.
All right. Some B-roll
Somebody's gonna
footage.
say, let me do something silly on the camera. Hi, mommy.
That's bad. He's pretty cool. And my friend. Let me see if I get some. Let me do some B-roll.
All right, I'm gonna do something fun, silly on this.
I'll get some B-roll right now.
Oh, no.
A little bit of B-roll never hurt no one.
All right.
My microphone's on this. Hey, journalists do. Remember that guy, Sam Prince, council meeting, knocked my microphone, he threw it across the room. Sam Prince is right. It was crazy. It's funny for a councilman as a Republican, he hates the First Amendment too. And what was ironic is I was putting my mic on so that you all in Now, you look at state house amplified, which is good, but they do not have themselves amplified. That's why you can't hear them. Well, it's ridiculous. So be prepared to turn your mind all the way up. And so I travel. Oh, that's great. Everyone, God bless. Ariana, he's awesome. He's my producer, my very good friend. It's like he's the best speaker in the field. You live in Cranford, and a high integrity. Also,
All right, so we're gonna do dance. Here's some B-roll. B-roll. This is maybe what they don't want us. They don't want us in here so we can enjoy ourselves without supervision. That's what, you know. We might communicate with each other and form bonds. We don't want that.
Eleanor Rigby, Edgar Hoover, Prunty.
Kathleen Miller, Sydney Mavis, Gertrude, Eleanor Rigby, Prunty.
Right. Can you sign up there? And I'll sign up after you.
Yeah.
And so this here, I'm going to turn the camera around and say, I got to figure this out.
This is how I sign in, so everybody can
This
see.
is social justice water pipe. It is extremely colorful outfit here.
Enon, right?
Okay. So he's signing up here, and he is choosing to protect his Fourth Amendment.
Address wherever, name Anon.
Right, not a noose. Anon.
Anon, baby.
How do I turn this camera?
So, we ready, guys. We getting ready here.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You better put your microphone here first, so someone doesn't smack it on you.
Oh yeah.
You know, remember last time?
Oh yeah. That was Sam Prince, who is not a prince. He's more like a queen, and a very poor queen. Let's see if he shows up today.
Sam Rat.
Sam what?
Sam Rat.
Yeah. You kind of got the John McEnroe swing going there with him.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I don't know if he thought he was playing tennis or if he was doing a golf swing with his hand.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So I have my microphone here already because I don't want Sam or anyone else to come here and start destroying my property, which was done to Leroy at the last meeting.
Right. Destroyed it. Destroyed my mic. And then right after he destroyed it, he said, "I'll pay for that." And let's see if he did pay for it. So here, because he was supposed to pay for it and drop a check off here, certified check to the police station, and I have heard nothing about it.
So we got a new officer here tonight. So we'll see what happens with that. Last time they had those new officers, what happened was they shut the national anthem down. So we'll see what happens this time with new officers. You know, I don't necessarily love that, but let me set up my other camera here and get it all set up where I normally stand. Where I normally stand with my camera is where Cranford TV 35 had their camera the one time, which is where I stand anyway. But you know, we'll see. I have a feeling they're going to try to give us problems about the recording of things. My main thing is I don't want to keep coming here. I just want them to stop doing dumb stuff, and they keep doing dumb stuff. I'm very upset about the fact that they took away the camera angle for people speaking at the podium. Only them get FaceTime, right? They talk about self-promotion, this and that. Only the council and the mayor are allowed to have their faces shown on Cranford TV 35 now. That's not right. Right, Leroy? Only the mayor and the committee are now allowed to have FaceTime. Now that they took the camera angles away, only showing the back of people. Yeah, so the mayor and the committee, they're the only ones who are allowed to have FaceTime. And after they try to villainize self-promotion, only them are allowed to self-promote. Their thoughts, their proceedings and stuff.
I'm speaking from here.
There you go. There you go. Because I want the camera to see me as well.
Exactly. We're at the podium, they have a bylaw, you gotta stay at the podium.
That's it. It works. It works. They want to keep doing stupid stuff. I just want them to start showing the people again. That's what they're supposed to do, right? Once they fix these issues and they correct these issues, I get to go and move on to the next town. That's it.
We want to fix this race and move on.
That's it.
But they keep messing up. And what they do now is they won't show people's faces. Those papers are on our back.
Oh, and Jim, the last video of everybody walking out on the anthem like that, 200,000 views on YouTube. 200,000 views. 200,000 views of that video when everybody walked out on the national anthem.
Oh, good.
200,000.
Fantastic.
All people all over the world. All over the world watching.
And that's what I said, as I figured I might be in the background somewhere. That's what I said, you got away with it all those years. When all you had to deal with was me on TV 35.
Right.
Now look what you got.
And you're on that video because remember when you put on the public record that the county commissioner walked out and
Right,
the city prosecutor and stuff? That's on that video. So that video that went 200,000 views, you're on. Yeah.
I'm going to embellish on that tonight.
yeah. That's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted to let you know.
They like my next slug every time.
All right. Let's see here. We got. Yeah. Their egos are bigger than their head. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So we're getting started. Yes, yeah. I don't want to. I'm not trying to put a mic.
I remember him kind of being in that zone.
Great job on not doing the whole dumb thing. Expected our race.
Yeah.
And also,
I disagree, but I hear you. I do hear you. I understand. I got you. Let me work on it. I'm sure. And if I can't do it today, I'll do it. So I just think the corner is bad tackle. I'll check it.
So they're going to try to say we can't do that. I want to get in and have a position
All right.
What resolution are you referring to? It's on consent agenda. There's like 20 resos that are approved at once.
So we're about to get started here and see what happens here.
Mikey Social Justice Water Fight. Yeah. I call social justice warrior many times, but he is.
You got better at it. I am a social justice warrior, though.
Water fight. Better than a water slide. Okay, we got a crazy glue. We got to crazy glue our microphones there.
We have to Sam-proof it.
Like gluing it. Right.
Sam Prince proof.
Sam Prince didn't
Prince
run.
proof.
He wouldn't show his face today. Oh, by the way, Sam said the check over here. Really? This guy here. What the heck?
The other guy that was here, I've never seen like this. The normal dudes that are here, that are normally here are not here.
Oh, they got specials. No.
So, guys, can you hear me? Because now I have two microphones going. The one that's on the microphone for the public comment time, and the one I'm holding here. Just want to make sure it can work. You guys can hear me all right? Put one in the chat, please. Awesome. Thank you, Randall. All right, so they both work. I'm going to try to get you guys better audio for this meeting. All right? Try to get you guys much better audio.
CORRTIONN.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Get you started in a minute here. Please smash the mic. Quiet.
I'm in the red.
This is the official meeting of the Cranford Township Committee, April 21st, 2026. This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by emailing the annual scheduled meetings to the Westfield League of Virginia County Local Stores, the Star Ledger, and Town of Cranford, by posting such annual meeting schedule on a bulletin board in the municipal building reserved for such announcement. And a filing of said notice with the Township Clerk of Cranford. Formal action will be taken at this meeting. Roll call.
Mayor Dunphy. Here. Deputy Mayor Gallo.
Here.
Commissioner Andrews.
Here.
Commissioner Curran.
Here.
Commissioner Black.
Please rise for the invocation of the flag.
Good evening, everyone. For tonight's invocation, I came across a quote from former President Jimmy Carter, who said, "We have become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic. Different people, different beliefs, different journeys, different hopes, different dreams." Cranford is an amazing town filled with lifelong residents, as well as those who moved here and now call Cranford home. Some may in fact have different beliefs, different journeys and such. However, we all want the same thing, to see our town prosper now and going forward. To our residents, volunteers, municipal employees, business owners, and their employees, thank you for making Cranford an amazing place to live and visit each and every day. Cranford is proof that people from different backgrounds, origins, ethnic groups can work together to weave the fibers of our being into the great township that we call Cranford. And that we call home. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have members, come on up. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed for the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. Whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing erosion of our precious topsoil, by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other products. Whereas trees in our township increase property value, enhance the economic vitality of business, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual community. Now therefore, I, Kathleen Hunter-Prunty, Mayor of the Township of Cranford, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in Cranford. And I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support the efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, encourage everyone to plant trees, gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Wish you the 21st day of April, 2026. Having with us here today, Eric Castro, Shade Tree Superintendent, and Pat Kobler, Shade Tree.
Thank you, Mayor. Saturday, we will be planting 4 trees of about 15 Girl Scouts, 2 different groups. We'll be at Sherman Field, planting 4 different trees. Friars. This is our 3rd time accepting the proclamation of mayor. And the Shade Tree Commission is made up of 9 volunteers. An extremely tough job. They put in a lot of their volunteer time, Friday and even on the weekends. Abby's out there marking out trees. I've seen her with white spray paint cans, marking out areas for trees to be planted. So if you're interested in having a tree planted, you go to our township website, go to the web page for the Shade Tree Commission, drop down bar, and you fill out the quick questionnaire, 5 different questions.
100 residents who came out for the annual Galway River cleanup. And they spent hours picking up trash, debris, on and around the banks of the river at 7 different locations around town. I can only assume people are becoming more conscious and respectful of their surroundings because we did not have nearly as much trash as we have had in the past. However, there were a few interesting items that were pulled out of the river. We had an on-deck chair, sled, a toolbox, some horseshoes. But I want to thank the families that came out, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cranford High School students, members of the Cranford hockey team, the Newcomers Club, and JC. So check the township's Facebook page. We have a slideshow of all the volunteers throughout their work. These volunteers who were here Saturday, as well as Pat Holger and members of the Shade Tree Commission and countless other boards and committees, are what Cranford is about. And this is, and because of them, we are such an outstanding. And speaking of volunteerism, it is a hallmark. And every year, hundreds of people serve on various boards and committees in town. They contribute their time, their ideas, their expertise on projects to make Cranford even better. And I want to thank Deputy Mayor Gallo for a suggestion. And at future meetings, we will invite a member of one of the various boards and committees to come and speak at a meeting to talk about what they do, and if they have a special project that they're working on, to talk about it. So it's just a way to keep the public informed of what all these wonderful volunteers are doing. So Commissioner comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Start with 2 quick committee updates to volunteers. Our Cranford Friends and Wellness team will be attending Wellness Day at the high school Thursday, April 30th from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the team is also finalizing a plan for their annual game night in May. So look out for some further details on that. Another reminder regarding the Tulsa Truck, the event being put on by our Cranford Community Connection. This free event is taking place on Sunday, May 31st, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 65 Jackson Drive. I'll provide another update as next meeting as well. Previously, we mentioned that we're recruiting both new and PTC certified officers for Cranford Police Department. Please report that the ongoing recruitment process has been very successful and is actively underway. So thank you to all those who applied, seeking to use their strengths and skills for better our community. Recently, I've also heard some concerns regarding parking numbers being in town. They've become difficult to read, but we're in the process of regularly upkeep on these efforts, and I should have more updates at our next meeting. So you may have seen the new great pilots installed in areas of our downtown. But get more information next week about how the process works. I did want to mention it because people are seeing it around town. So I'll provide a more comprehensive update at our next meeting. It's a new enforcement system. I just want to enhance that the township is to increase pedestrian safety through use of technology and available tools. We also have quite a few departments within Cranford that seek to utilize grant funding for initiatives in town. But that said, the CPD is continuing to apply for and receive grants to conduct pedestrian and distracted driving enforcement. This goes towards finding more ways that we can enhance pedestrian safety in town at minimal or no cost to the public. That's it from the police department. This Saturday, April 25th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Rear Lab Municipal Building. CPD will be taking part in the DEA's National Prescription Drug Takeback. If you have any expired or long-range medication, you may drop these off this weekend. Unfortunately, it's not an event for liquids or injectables. However, events like this do keep medications out of the hands of potential abusers, as well as out of the hands of minors. And lastly, there's a message from our fire department. So remember to clean your lint filters and dryer vents. If you're high risk of having closed dryer fire, then you know. Springtime is a great opportunity to clean debris from your lint trap. Exhaust duct, prevent these fires. A few quick tips to prevent a dryer fire. Don't use a dryer without a lint filter. Always clean the lint filter before and after each cycle. Do not forget to clean the back of the dryer when the lint is filled up. Check the venting system behind the dryer to make sure it's not damaged, crushed, or restricted. Make sure that the outdoor vent covering opens when the dryer is operating, and when possible, have a dryer installed and serviced by a professional. As always, residents have any questions or need assistance, please contact fire headquarters 908-709-7360.
Thank you. I just want to follow on to the proclamation. Anybody who knows me knows you can't talk about trees enough. So the Cranford Shade Tree Commission really does a fantastic job here in town. It was only started a couple of years ago, but they've made great strides in preventing some of the loss and greening Cranford. So they recently released their 2025 to 2029 Cranford Community Forest Plan. This is a 5-year roadmap for the care, the maintenance, expansion of trees on township property, while also guiding future planting efforts. So prior to this, the establishment of the Cranford Shade Tree Commission, we lost about 1,000 trees over a 10-year period with very little replanting. Since its formation, the commission has worked to reverse that trend, planting over 250 trees in the last 2 years, and just recently on last Friday, we planted another 30. 4 more will be planted this Saturday, and then in the fall, an additional 60. So we really encourage residents to plant trees as well on their own property. They play a crucial role, as the mayor said, in maintaining a healthy and resilient community. They improve air quality, they reduce stormwater runoff by helping absorb water, they lower energy costs, and just, it's nice to have a tree on the property. So we encourage you to do that. You can also donate through the Cranford website. There's a donation account available. You can plant in honor of a loved one, or just make a donation. The pools, 33 days to go until the Cranford Community Pool opens at Orange Avenue. There's significant work underway to ensure a safe, fun, and enjoyable summer season. A lot of the pool maintenance has been completed. Painting is ongoing. The grounds are being landscaped. The locker rooms are being thoroughly cleaned. Lighting is being upgraded. The courts will be upgraded. The baby pool and splash pad will also have some. Of course, the pool is a membership-funded facility. Community participation is essential. So I encourage residents to look at what's available, sign up for the pool if you think it's a very good value for the money. And strong membership can help ensure that the township will be able to make year-over-year improvements in the facility and make it a high-quality destination for summer recreation. So current membership levels are on par with the 2024 season. Last year, 2025, there was a lot of media attention and discussion around the pool, so the membership sign-up was sort of front-loaded. We had, at this point last year, 986 memberships, but in 2024, at this time, we have 562 memberships. Currently, we have 534, so a slight drop from 2024. It is important to note that 2024 and 2025 ended the year with the same amount of memberships. So there was no significant increase. So I do encourage people to come out. I think it's going to be a great season, and really encourage you to support the pools. The Cranford Memorial Day Parade will take place on Monday, May 25th, 2026, to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. If you're interested in participating, you can contact the Cranford Recreation Department or email them at recreation@cranford.org. That's also available on the website. It's an easy click and an easy sign. The Cranford Summer Recreation brochure is now available on the Cranford Recreation website. Registration for programs opens on Monday, the 22nd. So there's a variety of programs for children, adults, seniors, and I encourage everyone to take a look and take advantage of that. And then finally, the Velocity Centennial Village Group Velocity 5K is being run in early June 10th. I've made a commitment to run it, and I'm trying to get people to join up and run with me and make sure that I cross the finish line, and also just to support the Centennial. They're a big fundraiser for the year, so I encourage people to get your running shoes out, and I'm So I'll be behind you, and I'll be a little push you forward.
Thanks, Mayor. Good case for me tonight. The weather has finally mostly turned, which of course means it's time to do some road paving. One, we cannot pave everywhere, so if there is a pothole in your neighborhood or one that you drive past that you want our department of public works to take a look at, please get in touch directly with them. They have been out for the past few weeks now, on potholes around town. They have a list going, they let the list get certain critical mass and then they'll go out and take care of it in a batch. So please report in, but more importantly, we have some big road paving projects that are going to start very soon. We've talked about Union County redoing a number of their roads. They started last year. Their work is going to pick up again as early as next week. There's some big ones in town. Starting with Springfield Avenue, right outside the building, and then moving down to South Avenue. We're still working on the specifics, although notifications started going out residents today, as well as notifications from the township today. They're likely to start the Springfield Avenue paving work next week. This will be night work. They will likely go from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Cranford Police Department has been in touch with them and they're coordinating with P4 because obviously this is very disruptive. This will probably be about 2 weeks of work or a little bit less. They're expecting to go April 27th through May 8th, but they might be ending a little bit early there. And then after they're done with Springfield, they're going to be going to South Avenue. That will also be night work, probably about the same hours. And they're going to be going from Centennial Avenue down to the Roselle. We are still confirming a lot of this. We were just notified by Union County today that this was the plan. So we will be sure to get it out on the county website and newsletter the specifics. 100% locked down. We'll get it how disruptive this would be. We want to get information out today that it's quickly. Two, just want to flag 2 items that are in resolutions to vote on today. The first, we're going out to bid for a new library front door and for the second floor window replacement. So as you know, we're doing a very large library renovation project. This is not technically part of that project, but we do want, since we're putting so much effort into the children's room and some other areas, we want to do as many improvements at the same time as we can. So it's not part of the formal project, but we do want to get it done. The reason it is on our agenda is costs continue to balloon. It is insane how expensive it is to get stuff done at the township level. Our hope and our plan was that the contractor doing the renovation was going to be able to do this as a plus up for us. Their budget, based on just the supplies, went up. It's $60,000 from when we started the discussion with them. That is just not sustainable. So we're going to go out and bid. We're going to look to see if we can get a better price. But it does speak to like your cost of living, our family cost of living, but also township costs. So we're hopeful that we will get good bids and that this will be part of our grand unveil when the library reopens. Finally, wanted to flag the silting project that I spoke a little bit about at the last meeting. We got a permit from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. This means we're allowed to remove the soil and restore the natural riverbed in key areas of the river. We're going out to bid tonight to get proposals from contractors to actually do this work for us. The mayor and I are going to do a more extensive update for the community once we actually have the contractor on board, the locations that they're able to do, and other details on our calendar. Please stay tuned, and we will. I very much. The mayor and I have been working on this now for 3 years. We very much look forward to providing a more comprehensive update. Hopefully very soon. That's it.
Can you just repeat those hours, please?
Yes, so the township's preference is 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's when we say night work. So that is what we have conveyed to our friends in the county. That is certainly our position. We are going to resolve all this and we'll get all that information out.
Okay, I just want to remind everybody that we are in adoption of our budget. We have taken a few questions from residents already, and I encourage anybody who has. Don't hesitate to reach out to myself, to the finance department. Other than that, I did want to follow on pool. We did create the Centennial Avenue Task Force, we haven't forgotten about that property. I want to make sure that we do good things for the community. We don't know what that is, pool, no pool, art pool, whatever. We have not had any, discussions on the committee about it, but we are taking, feedback from last year's discussion. How do you decide you're going to do something? So this is our attempt to have residents and community members, a very big cross-section of the community have that discussion without any input from we, Mayor Conti and I, sat with the group yesterday. We were there for a total of maybe 15 minutes, just to kind of introduce themselves, introduce each other, and kind of set the stage for them to go and hopefully have a productive 2 months of discussion. But they have been told us, you know, to think outside the box. There's no good, no bad. It's to goal at the end. Ask for about 6 months, definitely by the end of the year, to have some kind of output from them or documenting some of the ideas that they felt documentable, pros and cons of each. There were more details too there, but just want to let you know those conversations are going on. They may be reaching out to cross sections of the community to get as much. Other than that, the last meeting, since our Revolution New Jersey committee has been busy planning events through the year to celebrate our 50th anniversary. They have another event there that they would like to encourage one of our local historians from the Cranford Historical Society. Dick Barry is going to be giving a presentation on May 5th, 7 p.m., which unfortunately happens meeting, so you'll have to choose. But it is entitled Cranford in the American Revolution. Dick's a great speaker.
Special comments? Thank you, Mayor. The county election office, the Union County Election Office, with the director, Nicole Dorado, has requested that we let people know they're looking for poll workers, especially Republican and bilingual poll workers. Don't hesitate to contact Nicole Dorado at the county, or certainly contact me and my office if any contact information. Thank you. Mr. Slattery?
Good evening, everyone. Members of the public, you'll notice resolution number 2026-191 is on for tonight. That's a request of the planning board to evaluate certain properties on South Avenue for designation as a non-condemnation area of development. Certain properties are the books known as the Brick site over there. I think we all agree that's a spot that could use some help in turning itself around and being repurposed for more fit. So that is all part of our round four affordable housing plan. It's the only site in town where we're doing that specific kind of designation. It'll go from here, if adopted, to the planning board. We should hear back from them in a month, maybe a little more than a month. And that'll help us in compliance to make sure that we don't have any builder friendly issues with our board, and also put us on a good track to make better use of the property at some point.
Addison?
Comments pursuant to the code of the Township of Cranford, section, Article 1, section 72-4, persons addressing the township committee shall be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes for their presentation. Before we begin, I just want to share a few reminders that loudspeakers, bullhorns, amplified sound equipment are not permitted. Any props and signs must be removed once the speaker is concluded. We ask you please not to block the front row with your camera equipment or tripod. Stand at the side or in the back of the room. If you are attaching a microphone, your own microphone, our microphone, we ask that you remain there. Mr. Zilli, can you please be seated? We ask that it remain there, remain in place until public comments are concluded. So the purpose of this, so there's no interference and disruption to any other speaker. Shouting and yelling from the audience will not be permitted. Everyone in this room has an opportunity to come to the microphone and speak. There's no reason to be shouting. Mr. Philly, please sit down until you're ready to speak, and take that in the back. It's blocking the aisle. Mr. Philly, please take that out of the aisle until you're ready to speak.
Speaking, let's get ready.
We ask, excuse me, we ask everyone to respect those in attendance and those watching at home, or on TV 35 or on Facebook, and refrain from using profane language. We appreciate your cooperation. We are all here for the purpose of conducting official township business. Residents and members of the public have an opportunity to ask questions, share their concerns, learn about any projects and work that the township is doing. It is my hope, and it is shared by members of this township committee, that we can conduct this meeting, including public comments, in a civil, respectful, and productive. With that, anyone wishes to address the township committee, please step forward.
And members of the public, can you please state your name before you speak? And can you please sign in on the sign-in sheet, as it greatly assists in minutes preparation? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Hi, my name is Will Philly, and I'm running in the contested Democratic primary for a spot on the Township Committee. To win, I will need everyone's support, please. Mail-in ballots for Democrats arrive this week, and I humbly ask for your vote. It says choose two on the ballot, but please vote for only me to help my chances even more. And I thank you very much. Now, tonight, I've prepared a top 10 list of what I will do for you when I am on the committee. Number one, I will work to lower your taxes substantially. To do this, I will work to cancel the multiple 30-year tax exemptions, aka pilots, in town. We absolutely have this authority, and I will use it to make developers pay the over $200 million in taxes they owe, so that us residents do not have to. I will also work to stop borrowing money, aka issuing bonds every other week. Bonding only increases our debt, while allowing the Township Committee a legal loophole to raise our taxes by over 7% or more when the bonds come due. It's a sneaky trick committees do to get around the 3% tax increase cap, and I will not allow it. I will work to make Cranford profitable, with all revenue going back to the residents in lower taxes. For example, we've been contacted about having our own town meetings and government happenings be produced as a reality show / docu-series. They think it'll be more popular than Cops, which made over $500 million, by the way. That'd go a long way to reducing our taxes. We're thinking TV 35 could be nationally syndicated. Oh, and by the way, I will waive any salary if elected, and truly be the volunteer Commissioner Curran wants me to be.
Yeah.
Number 2, I will make our schools the #1 schools in the nation. We will attract top academia of the world to our doorsteps with guest lectures and student access to renowned research leaders so that our children can get a taste before they head to college. Cranford will be known as an academic powerhouse. I will also make school more fun and less stressful for both our students and teachers. And most importantly, I will stop the bullying in our schools so that all our children may learn in peace. Number 3, I will stop and work to stop the planned data center in Kenilworth at the Merck site from completion and receiving a $250 million tax break. If you build it, you will pay taxes. It's horrible for the environment. It pollutes our groundwater, raises electric bills, noise pollution for miles, and makes higher taxes for all of us in the county. We will commit to a full-on protest. But why did our committee not tell us about this disaster? They've known about it for years. Who are they helping? We should all demand answers. I will never hide this type of stuff from our residents. And lastly, and I say this to everybody, I will be someone who truly cares about you and who will fight for you by any means necessary, including, but not limited to, interpretive dance. Thank you all very much.
Do I need to wait for residents?
Mr. Philly, can you take your last?
Jim Carvalho, Cranford. High noon at the whorehouse. 35 years ago, a guy named O'Rourke wrote a book called Parliament of Whores. His whores sat in the US Congress. Our whores sit right here in this room. The whorehouse pimp and madam are called Cooper and Kowalski. On my way to its last meeting here, that's right, the brothel's business is conducted right here, I passed an open door that's usually closed. It's a door that opens into the so-called mayor's chambers, a room hidden behind this room's dais. Through that door, I saw two people, a tall guy with a paunch and a punchy grin, and a short guy dressed like a leprechaun. The punchy guy was, of course, Terrence Curran, the clownish commissioner seated on the dais tonight. The leprechaun was new to me, but his getup gave him up as a likely piece of Curran's partisan parade, which means he just might be a Mick. But since he was kissing Curran's ring, he was likely no O'Rourke. When I am in a gin joint, I seek a seat with a clear view of the door, the room, the back bar, and bar. I call it the pimp's chair. During the brothel business conducted here last time, machine Madam Kowalski installed herself in this room's pimp's chair. That chair is right here to the right of the lectern. It's a seat that gives her a heckler's perch and her minions a good view of her. And with that view, they know what to do and when. When whoremonger Kowalski stands up to walk out, her stable of strumpets forms a partisan parade. The parade begins, of course, with the first note of the national anthem. That's right. The Cooper Kowalski supplicants summoned to this room for precisely this reason walk out not when they dislike what's been said, but when they dislike what's been played. What they dislike is this country's national anthem. Remaining in the room while the anthem is played, some of us stand while a few remain seated. But unlike the lemmings who've left the room, those seated for the song have my respect. That's because those who remain seated have enough self-respect to not be used as partisan tools performing for the corrupt Cooper, Kowalski, and Curran. Indeed, I do not stand for this machine's so-called invocation, that incantation muttered by a machine medicine man at the start of the brothel business here. I refuse to stand for that voodoo for a number of reasons. First, it's usually doggerel. Second, it's often political. Third, it's frequently partisan. And fourth, I bow my head to no one, certainly not the God of government. To stand or not stand is a respectable personal choice. To walk out in a plainly partisan parade is not. When the parade of liberal lemmings was in full marching mode, I took note of the platoon members. Among those machine tool marchers was Jason Garris. Garris, of course, is a former elected member of this committee and a devoted machine mandarin. He's also a government shyster. Garris quit his elected job on this dais in mid-term to return to his previous employer, the Union County Prosecutor's Office. That's right. A committee quitter who now has the power to spy, indict, and convict had no qualms about besmirching himself and his office in public in a purely partisan protest. Also among the marchers was the elected chairman of the Cranford Board of Education, William Hulse. After I outed Garris and Hulse by title, I confronted Hulse, who had returned after the anthem. Hulse said that he left at the start of the anthem to use the restroom. When I asked him why he didn't go past the lobby, he changed his story. Now his story was that he left at the start of the anthem to say goodbye to someone. He mentioned a name meaningless to me. After the meeting, Hulse approached me, this time with a partner in tow. The partner was Hulse's alibi. What the elected chairman of the Board of Ed failed to realize was that he had just outed his alibi. His alibi was Curran's leprechaun, who turned out to be, as predicted, no O'Rourke, but someone called Bob Bruns, the Grand Marshal of Curran's newly minted Mick Parade. That's right. The Cooper, Kowalski, Curran cabal's platoon of machine supplicants includes a county prosecutor, the elected chair of the Board of Ed, and the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade, all three of whom besmirched themselves and their titles to march out of this room at the start of the national anthem, at the behest of the corrupt Cooper, Kowalski, Curran cabal. The whores out there just rent their holes. The whores in here have sold their souls.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening. I'm Paul Argen, and I live in Boonton, New Jersey. In 1999, I bought several properties in Cranford, New Jersey, 27 North Avenue, 26, 28, and 30 North Avenue East, right next to the train station. Today, they had a session, a closed session, an executive session, the committee calls it, and I want to address what occurred in closed session regarding my property at 27 North Avenue. And whatever was discussed is now part of the factual record. The Township of Cranford, New Jersey currently holds title to private property without paying compensation, without paying just compensation. It's a constitutional taking. It's a federal constitutional taking. In New Jersey, it's only a taking if it's eminent domain. But under federal law, in Nick versus Township of Scott, the Supreme Court, right in the 3rd District here, the Supreme Court of the United States made clear that the violation occurs the moment the property is taken without compensation or just compensation. And that's particularly what happened in my case with all of my properties within Cranford. To date, my family and I have not received a dime for this property. And there could be gossip, and they can say, Miss Mayor Prunty, respectfully, she knows the people that I was involved with because she was involved with them too from 2004 or 5, I believe. But the fact here is that the factual record speaks for itself. Within a month after closing, that we sold the property to Cranford, the town secretly went to these people that turned out to be, one of them a $300 million fraudster, another person that was involved was a $100 million fraudster, in jail for it. On September 19th, 2020, I got 2 people, including a local attorney, arrested for trafficking in my personal identifying information to knowingly do harm without authority. In Nick versus Township, the Supreme Court made clear that the violation occurs the moment it takens, and it continues and it covers the entire duration of the taking. The closing occurred on that property December 3rd of 2015. Okay, my family has been put through the ringer of litigation, financial decimation. The town knows the gossip of what would happen, but the record speaks for itself. Who holds title to the property? Was there just compensation? I've sustained financial damages exceeding $10,000 per month, in which the town was paying me rent just for the parking lot across the street prior to the sale. And I had a $3.9 million a year business that we had. I've asked Mr. Slattery to refrain from calling the name of my business the MDTV building. I never authorized anybody since 1998 when we came to Cranford, where we consolidated our Red Bank location and our Pompton Lakes location into this beautiful town. And by the way, it is nice people, beautiful people. There's serious questions regarding the validity of the title transfer, the role of third parties that we just talked about, and whether inaccurate information influenced the outcome. It doesn't make a difference. There's a federal takings. And in January of 2025, there's something called the Roberto II, where the Supreme Court of New Jersey now recognized the federal rules that state that as litigation is ongoing, they can now hear cases about the federal takings. These issues will be examined. So tonight, the situation does remain unresolved. The township hold properties in their name without any compensations. The damages continues. The legal exposure grows, and it grows, but there is still an opportunity to resolve this, and I am willing to engage. I'm willing to participate in a fair resolution, whether that includes return of title, compensation, and settlement. But I will not accept the process where my property is taken and decisions are made without compensation. For instance, one of the questions that I'm going to have, Mr. Slattery, is why in the executive session, item E, proposed ordinance permitting and usage of township property, the township attorney Slattery did not discuss that in the executive session. I got two more lines. No, actually, that's it. The township has a choice. Let me get this page here. Continue down the path towards federal litigation or state litigation or exposure, or we could resolve this. We could resolve this through discussion and settlement. I'm willing to do that. You have my phone number, and I intend to enforce whatever rights I can. And I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Hello, guys. I'm Don Sweeney, one of the organizers of the Cranford 86 project and a longtime member of the Memorial Day Parade Committee. I wanted to take advantage of the TV 35 coverage of tonight's public forum and share some of what will be going on just 4 weeks from this coming Monday on Memorial Day. We want to encourage all Cranford residents and those of the many surrounding towns who watch the township's meetings to join us for what we feel is the finest parade and ceremony anywhere. Since 1921, the Memorial Day in Cranford has given generations of residents as either participants or attendees the opportunity to show respect to our fallen military on the one day of the year set aside for this very important observance. It is a day to take a few hours out and remember that freedom isn't free. The VFW Color Corps leads an orderly procession of our veterans, first responders, bands, civic groups, scouts, sports teams, and more in our yearly Memorial Day parade as it meanders through the streets of our township. The parade ends at Memorial Park on Springfield Avenue, and this is where the most meaningful part of the day's events occur. The current Memorial Day ceremony contains all the traditional features which longtime residents remember from their youth. The precision movements of the honor guard, the laying of the wreaths, the poignant of playing of taps, the riverside tribute lost at sea, and the roll call of Cranford's Fallen. The smoothing but powerful selections sung by Cranford's High School Madrigals Ensemble and the high school band's uplifting and patriotic instrumentals punctuate the program. A new element to the morning added in recent years is the presence of Gold Star family members from out of town. These are sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, and other family members of the men whose names are etched in bronze at Cranford's long-standing memorial tablets. These family members have been located by the Cranford 86 team during the research process that occurs when the Cranford 86 project writes about one of our town's fallen heroes. In most instances, the family has only a vague idea of the serviceman's history, and the project is able to fill in the details for them. Last year, we hosted over 50 members of families of our fallen heroes that we have honored. The matriarch of the family of Lieutenant Robert Tuttle, a World War II airman who died in 1944, said of her family's experience, everyone was on cloud nine. Your town should be getting national attention. 3 generations of the family attended from Virginia, totaling 16 people. Catherine Steers joined us from New York City. Her uncle, Tech Sergeant James Lascelles, he was MIA until 2002 when her dad's DNA was used to identify the remains that were recovered from a mountaintop in New Guinea. She thanked our town for unveiling her uncle's story that was unknown for so long. Her son carried James' Gold Star flag in the parade. 80-year-old Richard Mager said of the ceremony, one of the most tremendous and exhilarating events of my lifetime, and perhaps the most touching of our Gold Star family visits. We were joined by Richard and his brother, Kenneth Mager, sons of World War II infantryman Private Stephen Mager. Richard was an infant, and his brother, Kenneth, had not yet been born when their father died in Europe. This year again, we will be hosting families of the 2026 honorees. The family of Second Lieutenant Bruce Nostron will be joining us from Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Lieutenant, as his family calls him, was just 24 years old when he flew 30 strafing missions and bombing missions in World War II, each time turning enemy infrastructures into burning junkyards. The Nostrons have several family members named after their lieutenant, including one that they will be meeting for the first time on Memorial Day. From South Carolina, we will welcome the daughter of a Green Beret Captain Joe Whalen, Charlotte Whalen Stillwell. She will be accompanied by her immediate family, her husband, Major General Robert Stillwell, daughters Ellie and Dee, and their first son, Lieutenant Joseph Whalen Stillwell, named in honor of our hometown hero. Charlotte was only 18 months when her father died in Vietnam when leading a special forces mission deep behind enemy lines. Also in attendance will be other Gold Star family members who faithfully chose to return to spend the solemn occasion in Memorial Park. The Memorial Park in Cranford is always and always will be part of the Cranford's fabric. Gather your friends and neighbors for a morning of patriotism and gratitude. It's truly time well spent. Our parade steps off from the community center on Walnut Avenue at 9 a.m. on Monday, May 25th. And like the signs around town say, follow the parade to the ceremony. Thank you for giving me the time to talk about such an important event. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for all the recommendations.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janet Symbolic Ashnalt, and I have something very nice to share. I'm also a member of the Cranford 86 project with Don, and I'm also on the Memorial Park Redesign Committee and the Memorial Day Parade Committee, all dear to my heart, as my brother-in-law, Ray Ashnalt, is one of Cranford's 86 fallen. So I would like to make the township officials aware of a gift that is being given to Cranford in honor of a Cranford resident who had an idea that literally changed the course of world history. For those who don't know who this could be, I speak of Curtis Cullen, CHS class of 1935, who coincidentally graduated high school with my uncle, Steve Symbolic. They must have been in homeroom together right behind each other. Curtis Cullen was a part of the D-Day invasion, and he found the solution to a problem which was preventing the advancement of Allied tanks across Europe. The European countryside consisted of centuries-old farm fields bordered by massive hedgerows. The hedgerows were 15-foot tall walls of dirt, rocks, and vegetation. Each time a tank attempted to cross a hedgerow, its underside was exposed, leaving it vulnerable to enemy fire. Using steel from the roadblocks left by Germans on the beaches of Normandy, Sergeant Cullen welded teeth to the front of American tanks, which enabled the vehicle to plow straight through a hedgerow, opening it up for the troops and other vehicles which followed. Thanks to what is now known as the Cullen Hedgerow Cutter, our Army was now capable of fully advancing towards Germany. Sergeant Cullen's efforts were applauded by Generals Bradley and Eisenhower, and Cullen received the Legion of Merit Award for his contribution to victory in World War II. For those who would like to know more, there are many online articles regarding Cullen, including vintage World War II video of the hedgerow cutter in action. Now, the gift and how that came about. When I was researching the Cranford 86 Bruce Nostrand story earlier this year, I was attempting to get into the Westfield Armory to find a plaque which bears Bruce's name. Bruce had enlisted at the Armory and began his military career with the 102nd Cavalry. Still trying to locate the plaque, I contacted Walter Hill, a veteran of the 102nd, and he reminded me that Curtis Cullen also served in that unit, a fact of which that veterans group is very proud. So Walter informed me that his group has created historically accurate replicas of the hedgerow cutter, one of which is on display at the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. I visited that museum earlier this month and was very, very proud to see group after group of people visiting this special exhibit and learning about Cranford's Sergeant Curtis Cullen. The Veterans Group produces just 2 of these replicas per year and has graciously offered one to Cranford. The VFW has accepted the offer. Speaking to different people in town about the Curtis Cullen story, I noted that many were totally unaware of Cullen's legacy and the pride it brings to Cranford. This is a real opportunity to change that. I am speaking before you now to ask for the committee's support as well as that of the residents, as it is decided where and how to prominently display this historic piece of Cranford history, so that residents and visitors alike know of Cranford's important contribution to World War II history. Thank you so much.
Any other members of the public wish to speak to this?
Good evening. My name is Varghese Mancheri. I live in 577 Ludlow Avenue, Cranford, New Jersey. I've been living over there more than 35 years. And there is a project going on behind my property 91 Myrtle Avenue. It's a vivid a group, they're building a group, I think a group home. They're cutting down more than 200 trees. And when I bought my house, my previous owner, he built the house in 1965. And he was taking the property which belonged to the township, almost about 12 to 16 feet. He was taking caring, then also, when I bought the house, I was taking caring, I'm gonna lose that, the property. I wonder, over the years, almost more than 65 years, we were taking caring this place. I have a lot of, lot of, I was taking the property over the years. I have a lot of sentiment to that. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the property. I approached the township several times. They said that you can build, you can buy anything because that's the buffer zone. Anyway, my cousin sent an email to the zoning, and I didn't get any response. So he sent me a letter to present to the board. So I don't want to read to you. Maybe you can. Now, can I pass it over or? No, I emailed this one. Can you give it to the board members? Yeah. No. Yeah, I wonder you can do anything, this issue, any kind of compensation or something, I really want to get that the piece, but I think still the township still own that I don't know, they transferred to that the vivid group. That's all I want to say, and I'm hoping some kind of favorable reply from the board. Thank you.
We can take a look at what we provided, but the project that you're talking about, the group home, that was previously.
Yeah, it's approved, but the thing is, those the land I was, take caring whether the township can do something,
We have to take a look again at the resolution. Memorial.
Yeah, I made a copy for each members. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the township committee?
Was gonna put the camera facing this way, but you guys are actually showing the speakers tonight, so. Good evening, Madam Mayor. Good evening, committee members. Through the chair to Commissioner Andrews. How are you doing? Thank you. That's progress. Communication, that's progress. We didn't do that the last couple times. That's a good thing. Got it first. How are you doing, Madam Mayor? I like that. Communication, I like that. Yeah. Through the chair to Mr. Gallo. How are you? All right. How about that? You know it's coming, Mr. Curran. Through the chair to Mr. Curran. How are you doing? I'll take it. I'll take it. That is progress. Wow, we got communication. All right, so we can answer questions. That's a good thing. This is fabulous that we're back on TV 35. This is wonderful. It's a shame that Mr. Thilley wasn't able to announce his candidacy on TV 35. I thought that was very unfortunate, very timely, you know. So, all right, since we do ask questions, that's pretty cool. When we answer questions, I like that. May I ask through the chair, Commissioner Curran, would you be willing to apologize to me for saying that I attend council meetings to get arrested?
Please, you give all your comments.
We need to let Mr. Curran have that moment to answer, because what you just did was you cut that moment off. So
I
you.
don't want to take it from your 5 minutes.
No. This is my 5 minutes. I don't think you're really looking after my 5 minutes. That actually just upset me. Let's relax. Let's give Mr. Curran an opportunity to apologize. Through the chair to Mr. Curran, would you be willing to apologize for saying that I go to council meetings to get arrested? You're not willing to apologize? But I'm asking you, would you be willing to apologize?
Depends upon your conduct.
Oh, stipulations. Stipulations, ain't that funny? Man, I tell you. Does anybody want to answer who's making these decisions with the cameras? Since you guys are answering questions, can someone please explain to me whose decision it is to, show it, not show it, not show Mr. Thilley 2 meetings ago, not show the national anthem playing. The funniest thing too about that was when they wouldn't show Leroy over here when he was playing the national anthem 2 meetings ago. The TV 35 cut to you guys. And when Leroy asked everybody to stand for the national anthem, you see Mr. Andrews, look at the crowd and go, no, don't do it. No. Yes, Mr. Andrews. Unfortunately, the cameras were on you guys at that moment when they shouldn't have been. But the camera caught you looking at the entire audience and saying, no, don't stand for the national anthem. So that video from last meeting had over 200,000 views on YouTube, another 50,000 on Facebook, 250,000 views. 250,000 views. So I would like to take the remainder of my time and Madam Mayor, may I ask for the remainder of my time, may I have an opportunity to approach the dais, step up on the podium, and elevate myself to your guys' level, and give everybody an opportunity to accept an American flag to remind us of our values, our nation's freedoms, and your oath.
You can place them right here on the table.
I would like to give an opportunity for you guys to hand.
Place them right here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I would like to hand them to each one of you.
I answered you.
Mr. Black would like one?
You can put it here and we will take it later. Thank you. We appreciate it. We will pick them up.
So you're not willing to receive an American flag?
I am willing to receive it. I'm asking you to place them on the table and we will each pick it up.
It's not a plate of cookies for Santa. I'm asking if you would each have and take an opportunity to accept an American flag as a reminder of your oath and a reminder of our freedoms and our nation's values. May I approach, you know how everybody comes up here to do a presentation? May I give everybody an opportunity? Leave the flags on the table? That's disrespectful to the flag. You want me to leave a handful of flags? You see how neat they are in this box? That's how you treat a flag. You treat it with respect and honor. You don't just throw it on a table. I'm requesting if I
Your
can,
time is
so I'm
up.
not able to give everyone an opportunity to take a flag.
Sit down.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Well, if anybody in the audience would like a flag, if anybody in the audience would like a flag, I would love to give everyone an opportunity to take one since the council refuses to accept an American flag.
No. Yes. My time to speak here.
Please sit down, sir.
I would like a flag.
Please sit down, sir. Ask you to leave the meeting. Can you please escort the gentleman from the room, please? He's been warned multiple times.
Can I get a flag, Mikey? And he's giving a flag out, ladies and gentlemen. This is, this guy says it's not a flag.
Please escort the gentleman from the room. Yes.
He's giving away flags and mayor is removing him. This is disgusting. Here come the police. Look at this.
He's being removed because he refuses to abide by the rules.
We've got 3 police officers here. Give me flags away.
All in favor? We are in recess for several minutes.
Every week they do this garbage. Every week.
Get a photo of them surrounding the American flag.
Tell me if they're American flag.
No, you're not Americans, you're anarchists, you know? Relax. No, don't touch. Good luck with these small men. Take my stuff. Let me take my stuff. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Don't touch me. Let me grab my stuff. I have to get my stuff. And get escorted out of the council meeting for asking everybody to come together as a nation, as a community, and offer an American flag. I mean, you can't get any more wild than this.
Kick the dude out before he's got all his stuff in his hand. I'm just Cranford, New Jersey police here.
I don't want nobody touching my stuff because nobody belongs touching my stuff.
There you go, touch my stuff. Unreal. Cranford, New Jersey. Cranford, New Jersey. There you go. Kick out of the They hate the national anthem, they hate the flag. All right, are you done with recess? They're still hashing it out. What a shame.
I'm sorry.
Well, can you make sure he's okay? Your camera? Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? And then he turned off the channel 35 TV. Wow. I mean, I'm blown away. The gentleman is giving away flags. And they sent 3 armed men. And they sent police to stop me from playing the national anthem.
Second?
All right, before you start my time, could you please put the camera back on? All right. Okay. Yes. All right. That person had just not been under there with flag. This one?
I have one table.
Same thing?
Same exact one on the table, yes. Thank you.
Every single week.
Kicking me out of the room. This guy's chest belly bopping me out of the room. I mean, that is unbelievable because I'm handing American flags out, right? How is that disrupting the meeting? My time was over. I walked away from the podium.
I came here every single time to talk about this.
You're outrageous for putting your hands on me like that. Now I'm gonna have a bruise on my arm. Did you grab? You know that? Oh, you wink at me? You wink at me? Funny gun. So I just got kicked out of the meeting for trying to hand out American flags by this fat bastard of a cop. This fat bastard of a cop. Right? Try to get a good shot here. Yeah, so they just, let me turn the camera around. Hang on. Yeah, so this fat bastard of a cop, this guy right here, starts belly bopping me because his stomach's 5 times the size of mine, so he uses his stomach as a weapon, you know, like something like a fat boy would do. So yeah, I just got removed from the meeting. Just got removed from the meeting for trying to hand out American flags. Absolutely insane. And then the fucking dude grabs my arm, pushes me, grabs and pin. You know how the cops, when they grab you, they like to pinch your bicep. Like they grab you and they pinch you to make sure that you feel that like pinpoint pressure. That's what the scumbag did. That's what the scumbag did. He wanted to make sure that when he grabbed me, that I felt pain by the finger in your thumb. You know, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And then kicking me out of the building. Surrounded by cops, all grabbed my property. You know, that cop's a fucking piece of shit, too. That's the same guy that stopped the national anthem. That son of a bitch. That's the same son of a bitch that stopped the national anthem. Same son of a bitch who stopped Leroy from playing the national anthem is the same son of a bitch who fucking kicked me out of the meeting. Kicked me out of the goddamn meeting. And I know I'm missing something else here. That's the thing. Something else is fucking missing here. You know, I can't even see what Leroy's doing now. I'm missing Leroy's public comment. And, oh, I have a cord. You know what? I'm all discombobulated now, right? So I just handed out American flags. And upon giving everyone an American flag, they went up removing me. Big fat fuck officer over there pinches my arm and belly bops me out like a fat fuck. Uses his big fat belly like a fat disgrace. And you know, and the thing is this, you guys know, man, I'm respectful. And when cops do the right thing and they deserve recognition, I'll give them all the praise. But when a cop acts like that big fat monkey fuck of a cop, that's the shit that pisses me off. He's a fucking overweight fat fuck who puts his hands on fucking people who want to hand out American flags. That's a fucking scumbag, dirtbag cop. And I'm going to Oprah request his goddamn fucking his body camera. And, you know, what can you do, man? Kicked out of a fucking meeting for handing out American flags. You could leave the flags on the table, she said. You could leave the flags on the table. You know. Disrespectful. Leave a handful of flags on the table. I don't know who wants to accept one. You know? Like, I want to give you an opportunity to take it from my hand. So, absolutely fucking disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I'm pissed, man. You know, I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed because of the way he grabbed my fucking arm like that as I'm trying to hand out flags, right? Like scumbag fucking police officers. That's what scumbag cops are. The ones that grab your arm like that and pinch you and do.
Sir, thank you for the flag.
You're welcome. Thank you. See, and that's what a proud American does when they see a flag being offered. They take it. A proud American takes the flag like that gentleman just did. Right? These people are fucking scum. They are absolute disgrace. Oh, Leroy's playing. Oh, they're gonna all fucking walk out again? All gonna walk out again? See if you guys get it. Wild. What? Did I get a chance to hand you a flag?
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. All right, thanks. Yeah. Yeah. What's up? I'm Mike. Yeah. What's up, John? Nice to meet you. Yeah, that was weird. You know cops, when they like to grab you, they do that. They get you like right here, so you feel the pressure of the thumb like that. Come on. You know, unreal. Thank you for being a true American and accepting a flag. You know, doesn't seem hard to do. Oh, wow. All right, you enjoy your night, John. Thanks for coming out, man. unfucking real, man. Scumbag cops. Thing still on? Yeah, it's still on. Scumbag fucking cops. There he is. That guy right there. That guy right fucking there. We're gonna make sure he gets all the attention in the world. Fat fuck. Let's make sure we get cameras on him. He's a fat fuck. Same guys. Well, the one guy is the guy who stopped Leroy from playing the national anthem. Yeah. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. You guys believe that shit? Removed for handing out American flags. If they were they were commie flags, go right ahead. Yep. Yeah, you know, it's so weird, guys. It's so weird because I truly was thinking like these things were going to get fixed and kind of like quickly. I see the camera angles came back. I kind of thought these problems were going to get fixed, and then I wouldn't have to keep coming back here. You know, I went to the workshop meeting beforehand. I figured it was more a little bit of an intimate setting. You know, just explain to them like, you know, my motives behind why I do what I do. You know, why I make these videos and attempt to empower other people to confront, you know, unchecked power in local government. Thought that would have made a difference, you know, and I see that they returned the camera angles, and I figured that's helpful. Like they're fixing things, you know. Sometimes things got to completely break before you fix them. You know what I mean, guys? So I kind of thought that things were on their way to be fixed and repaired. But that scumbag cop, the way he grabbed me, and just on the mayor's orders like that, you know, there was no 3-strike warning. They didn't even follow their own policy, you know. So normally with shit, you know, it is what it is. But I mean, I have to now fucking call my lawyer and see and have a conversation with him about that, about what just happened. Because I was just walking around at that point, handing out the flags the way I was walking around. I already walked away from the podium, the lectern. I already walked away from it. You know what I mean? So I wasn't like disrupting the meeting, you know, but they want to make the appearance of disrupting the meeting. You know, that's what it is. So yeah, Now we're stuck here for a couple more meetings at the very least. At the very least. And then kicking me out of the whole building. Like, where's that in their policy? You know what I mean? Where's that in their policy? Big fat belly bop fucker. There's the fat fuck. There's the fat fuck right there. There's the fat fuck. There's the fucking piece of shit cop. Fat fuck. Fat fuck. Fat fuck.
Fuck is so screwed up. He tried to get me out of the meeting because I asked him what his name and badge number was because he refused to give it to me earlier. Then he says, out. Like, no.
Dude, he did the old classic, you know when a cop grabs you, like they want to hurt you. They actually want to cause
Put this on you.
They actually want to cause pain. You know what I mean? And they want to like.
Well, he went hands on. I saw he attacked you. I mean, he went hands on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is sick. Oh, yeah, I saw no name tag, and then because I asked him for his name and badge number, which he refused to give me previously, which is required per their policy, he then said out, and like I don't know. In fact, I was on my way out, and he was there on my way out, and I had to pass him to actually walk past him, and then, however, a sergeant took him away. He wanted to go
There's the
hands-on.
scumbags.
He wanted to go hands-on.
You know, and I'm respectful, Leroy. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm not like a disrespectful
Absolutely.
person. You know, I always give praise and recognition where it's deserved or whatever. I'm literally not one of those people that like thinks all cops are bad. I give everybody a shot, but then they wind up fucking acting like that. Well, the way he grabbed, sorry for the cigarette smoke that's blowing in your face. He grabbed me like this. He pinches me with his thumb and his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And does that whole, I'll probably have a bruise, Leroy. You know how it goes. I will. I'll have a bruise right
He was doing
here.
a pain compliance technique.
Yeah, exactly. Pain compliance technique.
And the thing is, you were not resisting anything.
All I was doing was walking around handing flags.
Right.
I'm allowed to walk around the meeting.
Right.
I already walked away from the podium.
Exactly. And
you know,
Mikey did nothing wrong. Every single meeting, this is our 4th meeting now. Every single meeting, they screw up. And how disrespectful. You don't put a flag on the ground or the table when you are there wanting to give it personally to the mayor and the council.
Yeah, because then it's like they're making a joke out of the fact, just lay the flags on the table. I want you guys to each have an individual moment of receiving it.
Right.
And then the guy who walked out, one of the residents, he walked out and he said, it's on camera too, which I'm going to put in the video. He said, thank you for the American flag. The most American thing someone can do is receive the flag.
Right.
So thank you, sir. You know,
That was a beautiful gesture. And Mikey doesn't make $1 million. He bought those flags. They ain't cheap.
Right.
And they shouldn't be cheap. These are the American flags. And he invested his own money as a symbol and as a gesture of connection and community with the mayor and the council people. And they rejected it. And not only did they reject it, they then called, what is it, 3 or 4 armed men with guns to forcefully remove him.
I had a feeling something was going to be weird because they had the same guy here tonight who stopped you from playing the anthem, the one who was able to respond to their bark. As they're grabbing me and pulling me out, I said, but there was not even a three warning rule. You know, I saw the emails. I requested the email from the chief of police to the council.
I want
and the
you to
mayor.
tell everyone what the 3 warning rule is.
So the 3 warning rule, and this is what the chief of police and the mayor and council agreed on. They have to give a 3 warning rule, and when they do a 3 warning rule, then they go to recess. There is no hands-on, right? So when they went hands-on, they had already, she said called for a recess, right? Like I have to watch that back. If they called for a recess, they're grabbing me and like manhandling me while we're not even in a meeting at that point. We're not in a meeting at that point. They didn't do the 3-strike rule that they agreed with the police that they would do.
But they weren't in a
1
meeting.
warning, 2 warning, 3 warnings, meeting stops. That's
the
how
thing is, right. And then when they were trying to manhandle you, there was no meeting. It was in recess.
Right.
You are free to stay if you're free to go.
The whole time I'm walking around, right, like using my camera because I'm, you know, zooming, I'm trying to document everything that's going on. So at that moment, when they call a recess, I'm already away from the podium. I'm allowed to walk around. You know what I mean? I don't know how the hell they were able to get it in their heads that they could do that at that moment. Just keep, first of all, put your can. We leave after public comments.
Right.
I got work in the morning. I got things I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like all they had to do was just like accept the flag. That's all they had to do was accept the flag. That's the thing.
So the conflict again wasn't created by Mikey. He was giving gifts, and 2 of the most beautiful gifts you can give is to share the gift of the music of the national anthem being performed at a government function. And number 2 is to give the gift of American flag. And I'm sure Dr. Anus, Terrence Curran, previous mayor, present Puntalito on there. I don't know what it means. I just made that up, but it's not a good thing. And President Puntalito, he's probably going to say, you use the national anthem again. Leroy Truth as a prop. No, I did it to share patriotism and community during the meeting. And then he's probably going to say, how dare you, social justice water pipe.
The one resident in there, the guy Dom, with the black curly hair with glasses, he says, as I asked him for a prop, he says, I don't want your prop.
Wow. And I bet Terrence Curran is going to say, that's a prop. That is not a prop. It's an American flag. And their egos are what turn it into their distorted, jellyfish, man-of-war, constitutional communist, self-hating communist brains. That it's a prop.
You know, and you're right, man. It's like I ain't made of money. I spent $20 on Amazon. And this was, I talked to Leroy about this. I said, what I want to do is I want to hand out an American flag to all the council members to bring everyone together as a nation, right? Like, I'm giving you a golden opportunity to make good on everything that you did. You went viral for shutting down the national anthem and then everybody walking out. Let's everybody just take a flag. Remember that we're neighbors. Remember we're a nation. That was the goal. That was the whole purpose of it. I was trying to make everybody just remember we're a nation. That was the purpose. It was not to cause a disruption. It was not to treat the flag as a prop. Anyone who would ever call the American flag a prop is a psychopath, because it's insane. That's also the third time that I've handed out flags at meetings, and I think it's great when you see everybody holding a little miniature American flag, and some of the residents were more than happy to take it. You know, so
Yeah. And again, if someone could not accept, why wouldn't the council people accept it? I mean, Mikey was trying to build a bridge. What did he do in the beginning? He's asking, hey, how are you? Just to create an initial communication. He wasn't being offensive, though. Again, the First Amendment, of course, is protected if he was, but he isn't. He doesn't do that.
yeah, I love how she opened up the thing and started to say, she basically said, please refrain yourself from using your First Amendment,
Right.
You know, by language or whatever.
No, we don't want language. Now, we personally don't do that. Well, actually, sometimes he does.
I did it last time because I was so upset.
And it's protected speech. Offensive speech is protected speech because the First Amendment doesn't kick in until someone is offended by speech.
And Leroy, you know how I am. Every time I do wind up swearing, which I did last time because I was so upset that they took the camera angles away from showing all the people at the public at the podium, you know, I always mention to the people on the camera that sometimes you may, you know, lose your point, or it may lose its effectiveness if you wind up, you know, cursing like that. But I was upset because I was confronting Terrence Kern, who said that I go to meetings to get arrested. You know, I have a right to, you know, respond to that.
Yep.
You know?
And here I got a comment someone shared here. Melissa Stedman, incredible monitor. She wrote here about what the cop did to you, and she wrote, whether right or wrong, this cop is. Oh no, she's talking about Frank Sloop, but she could have just as well been talking about the Lieutenant No Name.
Frank Sloop.
Lieutenant No Name, lieutenant violating this gentleman's rights and physically attacked him. I mean, I got it on video as they were surrounding and pouncing on you, and when he was grabbing you, like I'm thinking,
and he's pinching my bicep with his thumb and his fingers like that.
And you weren't given time to
making sure he leaves like a nice little pressure point bruise on my.
Make sure you document that too.
Wild.
Is that every single time they do
wild?
And they went hands on with him.
Wild.
And then that lieutenant who refused to identify.
It was a wise ass.
Oh yeah, well, he was ordering me out of the meeting as I'm leaving the meeting
And
because I asked him for his name and badge.
And then he gets out here, right? And as they're shutting the door on me, I'm trying to explain to the officers that both of my microphones are still in there, and because I need my property. You know, you're kicking me out. I have stuff in there. No, we'll get up. So I'm trying to explain my microphones are still in there. He gets over here as he's pinching me, and then just chest bumps me. Me. Yeah, I got it all on video. I just don't know the camera angle of how it captured it and stuff like that. But I'm gonna Oprah request his body camera. So
good idea.
Yeah, because he absolutely
The older guy.
the big fat guy. You know, he chest bumped me right out of the
He's a
here.
lieutenant.
And then I told him, I said, "You just assaulted me," or whatever I said. However, I responded to him.
You should have went down.
I know.
Like the cop went down.
You know, like the way.
Yeah, that guy.
I should have done a Lieutenant Gas, whatever his name
Lieutenant
is.
Gaston.
Gaston. I should have done a Lieutenant Gaston. You know.
I just don't understand why there was. It seemed to me that they came in and they had an agenda just to remove you, regardless of.
As soon as he started talking, I said that. You heard me say that, right? The police are moving in. As soon as Mikey started talking, the police started moving in. It's like, okay, this is very concerning.
And not for nothing, a very reliable source told us today that they're going to try to arrest you guys tonight. I was like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, that's not going to happen.
I heard,
Listen, just
I heard that as well.
Just take the flag. It would have.
I know. I bought them on Amazon, and I just explained this to them. I'm like, I'm not made of money. I spent $20 to try to have everybody come together, give them an opportunity, right? Some people might disagree with my methods or my strategy or whatever, you know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to I want them all to take a flag. Then we put that on the internet, right? We I don't want people to lump me in with Will and him not get votes because they say he's with these jerk off troublemakers, right? So my intentions were to have everybody remember we're one nation, we're all brothers and sisters, we're all neighbors. all take a flag and move on.
That was a connecting opportunity.
That was the point of it. That was the point.
And that was your whole
you know?
demeanor and everything. And they shredded it. And the police they had here, again, my experience with the Cranford police, I'm so disappointed because I heard they were great.
Yeah, when I seen
And
those
you
guys
know
tonight,
that
I'm
by
like,
their fruits.
I don't know. I never seen them at the meeting.
And
I know you've
all
been
of
going
them
to meetings for a while, but
went
yeah, he
and supported the going hands
chest
on
bumped me and
and
frickin'
aggressively.
That was
moving
rough
the
to watch. But I'm curious about your take on things.
All right, so we're gonna
The
end
way,
this
the
here.
way they came in, the police, and
Yeah,
I'm a
Mike,
big
any final
supporter,
words
man.
here?
my shit's dying. Final words is, you know what, Leroy? I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm disappointed. I kind of, you know, sometimes things got to like really break before they get fixed. They played a lot of games. They messed up a lot. I saw the cameras that were, you know, back showing the public. I'm like, this is a good thing. You know, they're answering me how their day was. They wouldn't do that before. That's a good thing. I went to the workshop meeting before this meeting, more intimate setting, told them what my name was, told them where I live, even though I never do that. Told them where my town is, what my name is, as a courtesy to try to give that, like lay the foundation of let's all come together. I did everything I could to have that moment of let's remember we're a nation, and it didn't work.
They're not listening.
Nope.
So that's my final thoughts. I got nothing more than that.
All right, so Cranford
I'm ending,
is
guys.
communist.
Appreciate you guys.
Seceded from the United States of America. Also, I'm supposed to get a certified check from Sam Prince, the Republican